Okay, so let's continue our talk on being able to cover the outside pitch. Now, I've shown a couple of other videos on this, and I want to continue to delve into it and just show different hitters in the big leagues and how they do it. They all do it very similarly, and there's a couple of core principles that I think are extremely important if you want to be able to drive the ball the other way and cover a ball on the outside part of the plate. Now, I'll say this first. Being able to pull the ball in the air is an extremely valuable skill, especially at the major league level. And so I'm not saying that this is the only thing that we need to work on. But what I am saying is to be a complete hitter, especially at the younger levels, I notice this a lot, is that you need to have the ability to hit the ball to all fields. You need to have the ability to cover all pitches, whether that's in, middle, or away. And I work with players of all ages, and most players have an easier time hitting the ball in, and they have a difficult time covering the ball away. And so we're trying to eliminate as many holes in the swing as possible and make all of our hitters complete hitters. So with all that being said, let's talk about the differences in your swing when covering a pitch away versus covering a pitch in. And what are the top hitters? When I watch the best hitters, I've gone through this and watched every big league hitter and studied their swing and how they hit different pitches in different locations. And one thing that you're going to see, let's watch Bobby Witt right here. He's going to hit an absolute rocket shot to right center right here. So this is basically almost kills the second baseman. So what does he do? Why is he able to drive that ball, and what happens differently on this pitch right here? So this is a fastball. You can see outer part of the plate. What does he do differently on this ball than he would do on a ball that's in? And what allows him to drive this ball with such authority? So before we get into what he does, I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is that in order to drive a ball as it moves away from you, you need to have a barrel that has great direction, that works through the hitting zone. I see so many players that are unable to do this because their barrel doesn't allow them to do it. Their path doesn't allow them. So what does a really good path have? Well, it has a few things. One, it's going to get into the zone early. It has depth. So you can see as the barrel turns back here and it lays back, it's getting into the zone early. It's getting what I call behind the ball and on plane early. So that's the first thing. But then it also has great length through the hitting zone. So you need depth to get in the zone early, and then you need length to get through the hitting zone. And if you put these together, that for me is what equals direction. Direction is a barrel that works through the hitting zone. So many young hitters that come in to work with me, they have a barrel that does not have great direction. It wants to work this way, towards the pull side. And it makes sense because as a hitter, we're turning, right? We're rotating. And it's easy for players because they're rotating and starting to turn to the left as a right-handed hitter for their barrel to just want to go to the left with them. Well, if we want to hit a ball that's not way in here and anything that's more middle to away, we can't have a barrel that just turns left with us. We have to be able to get through the hitting zone, and then it's going to turn left. Every barrel for a righty eventually has to turn left. Right? Our body's turning left, the barrel's got to turn left. But the hitters that have better direction are the hitters that are able to cover that pitch. So they stay through the hitting zone for a long period of time, and then their barrel turns left. So we say you can't turn left too early. Or if you're a lefty, you can't turn right too early. Your barrel cannot exit right. And for Witt again, your barrel cannot exit left too early. It's got to stay through the zone. So we create depth, we create length through the zone, which equals good direction, and then our barrel can exit the zone. Now, how do we do that? A couple things. The first thing is we have to stay in a great hitting position and in great posture. So you'll notice as Witt gets ready to hit, he gets his lower body coiled. We've talked about it. If you watched our videos before, you know what we're talking about. He gets his back pocket turned towards the pitcher. He gets his upper body pulled back. So he starts to get his rear arm behind his hands. He gets in good posture right here where he's over the plate. His spine is about 30 degrees. When I watch most hitters, that's where they're going to be, right around 30 or so degrees over the plate. So they get into this position. You can think about it as getting into the position and then holding the position. We talk about holding our angles for as long as we can, especially as because the ball moves away from us or is on the outside part of the plate. If we start to come out of position or come out of posture too early, well, that's going to pull our barrel out of the zone. And again, we're going to struggle on hitting the ball to the opposite field or covering that pitch. Not every ball away has to be hit to the opposite field, but if our barrel starts to pull or exit left too early, we'll never be able to cover that ball or hit it anywhere with any authority. So we maintain that position as long as we can. Now, the other interesting thing that I've shown Shohei do it, I've shown Alvarez do it, is as he starts to turn his rear leg and starts to rotate. I want you to watch this. So he starts to rotate. Watch his belt buckle. That's something I'm always watching, okay? So let's actually back up a second. So his front foot's coming into the ground. You can see the stripe of his pants is right at us. So his hips are still closed. This is what I mean by holding onto your angles, staying in a great hitting position. Now as he starts to turn, watch his belt buckle. So it starts to turn, it starts to turn, it starts to turn. Now watch these clicks right here, right? So it's turning, 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 and then right as the barrel is about to hit the ball, this is where you need direction through the hitting zone. Watch what his belt does. What happened on all those clicks? It stopped turning. It stopped rotating because the ball was away. So that's how he's able to keep his barrel working through the hitting zone. If he just keeps turning and just keeps rotating, the barrel is just going to keep turning and it's going to exit left. So the ball's away. He starts to turn. Now he needs to get that direction through the zone. He needs to stay through the zone with his barrel. And so the rotation of his lower body stops right here. Watch this stripe. So notice watch, it turns, and then right there, as he's coming into contact, it stops. And then keep your eye on that stripe. It actually, right here, it actually feels like it comes back towards the plate. Now, if the ball is in, you can continue to rotate because your barrel can start to work this way a little bit more, and you'll oftentimes see this stripe just disappear. You won't even see it on camera anymore because, again, the ball's in, so you can rotate further. But if the ball's away, you've got to put the brakes on. So just think about that belt buckle, the front part of your belt buckle right here. That's going to almost feel like it is pointed more towards where the pitch is. The more the ball is away, the more your belt buckle is going to feel like it's pointed more towards the second baseman. The more the ball is in, the more that belt buckle can keep turning, and it will start to face even a little bit more towards the shortstop, the pitcher / shortstop. So that's huge. And then notice again how he stays over the plate. We talk about this so much. Look at his spine. It's still over the plate. The more the ball is away or down, the more you have to stay over the plate. If you come out of that position, you'll never be able to hit the ball away. And so some people call that side bend. You can see how he's over the plate. His right shoulder or his rear shoulder is lower than his lead shoulder. And he really exaggerates it. Like if you say what's staying on the ball, like boom, that is staying on the ball. A lot of times I'll say, stick your nose on that thing. As the ball moves away from you, you've got to stick your nose on it. It literally looks like he's sticking his nose on this ball. And if you watch hitters that don't do a good job of this, what you'll see on this pitch is that their nose will be over here. Their belt buckle's over here. Their upper body's over here. Everything is pulling up and away. But the really good hitters, the hitters that are disciplined and the hitters that aren't just trying to pull everything, but are complete hitters, they do that right there. It's a great piece of hitting. So pulling the ball is important. Being able to pull the ball in the air is important. But being able to stay on a tough pitch is important to be a great hitter. Especially in two-strike situations, especially against pitchers that have better command, you're going to have this skill and be able to do it. So hopefully that helps you out. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to learn more, check out our course in the description box below, Building the Elite Swing. We have a ton of different courses, but that course really focuses on what do we have to do with our body to be in a great position. A lot of things that we talked about right here, but we go really in depth, and we've got a ton of drills to work on it if you're a hitter that needs that work. So check that out. That's all we have. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you later. If you've got hitters that you're looking to improve before the start of next season, this is essential for you.
Matt Antonelli here, former Major League player, first-round pick, and college coach. With this course, we're going to show you exactly, step-by-step, how to generate power, develop bat speed, and enhance swing mechanics. Regardless of your hitter's age, this course is going to deliver advanced hitting techniques that will allow any hitter to get better and make an impact at the plate this spring. We have a full catalog of training content that you can access from anywhere at any time. This course is perfect for players, parents, coaches, instructors, and more. Our course has helped hitters all over the country at different competition levels, and the feedback that we've received has been outstanding. The work you put in now will drive your success at the plate this spring. Get the essential knowledge that you need to take your game to the next level.